Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another third-party unlicensed 1/6 scale figure unboxing and review. Today we're taking a look at the Mars Toys Mr. W, aka Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne, based off his appearance in Batman 1989. Now I got mine as a review sample from Mars Toys, organised by 1/6 Kit. I have popped the link to Kit's site in the description below for your reference purposes only. As always, all opinions are 100% my own. This is not a promotional video, it's a proper review. I have not been asked to only say good things. If you are heading down to the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button, so you're notified as soon as a brand new 1/6 scale figure review goes live on the channel. As for the box art, it is simple, but it's so classy, and it screams Batman 1989. We have the massive Batman lettering in the background, done in yellow, so it contrasts against the very dark silhouetted image of Batman front and center. But my favorite detail has to be this. Instead of going with the Batman symbol in the oval, they've printed Mr. W, which is the third-party name for this release, and I just think that's really clever and cheeky. They've used a slightly thicker than usual cardstock this time for the box, and it feels really premium. On the side, we have Mars Toys and that little astronaut in the middle. And then around the back, another Mars Toys logo, couple of product shots, as well as some warnings and legal information. Interestingly enough, this release is directly competing with Hot Toys. They also released a Michael Keaton in a tuxedo, but not based off Batman 1989. Their version was from Batman Returns. First in-hand impressions? So far so good, the tailoring looks really sharp. What we are going to do now though is get all of his accessories laid out in the light box and take a closer look at everything he comes with. Starting off with the display base first, which is done in the Hot Toys Age of Ultron style, meaning it's quite wide, which is good for more dynamic posing if you want to get nuts. Then around the back, it's a little bit more pointy. Up top, we have the 89 Batman logo, then around the front, Bruce Wayne on an actual etched metal nameplate, as well as an adjustable crotch grabber. This is a really neat idea for an accessory, and I do see promise with it, only if they keep it going with their future releases. If they don't, and this is a one and done, I don't think it's gonna work. It more so will read as though it's an image of Bruce Wayne supposed to be displayed next to his casket at a funeral, rather than like a nice little piece of set dressing to have alongside the display base, which is what it's actually meant to be. We have a black and white image of Michael Keaton inside this optically clear, quite thick frame with a magnet up on top, so you can change out the image if you so choose, and it is separate from the little clear plastic stand. Now we do have two different options for his cummerbund and his bow tie. He comes wearing just the straight black ones, but we also have these checkered pattern versions. They are made of this nice lightweight fabric. The cummerbund attaches with Velcro, whereas the bow tie just slips over his collar, then you pop the head sculpt in to lock everything in position. For some of his smallest accessories, we get a wireframe pair of glasses made out of real metal, we will of course try these on him, and a champagne flute. The sculpt work on the surface is quite ornate, and then they've poured this tinted resin on the inside. It genuinely looks like there's real champagne in this glass. And lastly, a full array of hands, and these might just be the best hands that I've seen in a while in 1/6 scale. The detail here is next level. The wrinkling for the knuckles, you also have the vein work, the speckling for skin texture, and some pink shading on the high spots. So we get these almost relaxed half-gripping open palm hands, a pair of closed fists, some relaxed open palm hands already installed on him out of the box, and then some actual gripping hands, which I think are meant to hold the champagne flute. What we are going to do now, though, is get Bruce Wayne himself out here. Standing straight up and down in the light box, no crazy poses or accessories or anything like that. At first glance, he's pretty simple, right? It's just a dude in a tuxedo, how hard can that be? Surprisingly difficult when you start to think about how tricky it would be to assemble everything and get it to sit right on the body and not look too big and bulky in this scale, and hang naturally, and have the cuffs of the shirt poking out from the suit jacket sleeves. All of that stuff is non-trivial. Mars Toys make it look like a piece of cake. This figure looks incredible. Just standing there, the proportions alone sell it to me. This looks like Michael Keaton shrunk down to 1/6 scale. And I've not even mentioned the head sculpt yet, which I reckon is the best part of this darn figure. It screams Bruce Wayne from that film. So much so that the Hot Toys version I already have in my display, I can already tell you, that's being retired immediately following the end of this video. Up close and personal, kicking things off with Bruce Wayne's head sculpt. I don't know about y'all, for me personally, this is Mars Toys' strongest work to date. I can see Michael Keaton, a younger Michael Keaton granted from back in the day, from every angle. There's plenty of skin texture, both sculpted and painted. There's even some subtle rosiness on the cheeks. You have this 5 o'clock shadow, and having his mouth be slightly open gives him that almost goofy expression that he put on as Bruce Wayne to try and convince people that there's no way he could be the vigilante known as Batman. They also gave him one eyebrow raised. It's not enough to make it look off, it just helps sell that expression. That angle right there, that's my absolute favorite angle to display him at. His hair is big and boofy. There's even this feathered edge to the hairline where you can almost see a little bit of skin tone poking through. And then we get to the eyes. There is so much life to them. They're nice and bright and glossy, and they're the accurate color, being, of course, blue. Somehow the likeness just got even better with the glasses on. Now, he does wear the glasses specifically in the Batcave, so I won't be going with them in my collection. If you wanted to, this is what they look like. They are just metal frames. There aren't any lenses in them. And that's a good thing, because in 1/6 scale, I don't think lenses are 100% necessary. Depending on how thick they are, they can distort the eyes underneath them and make the head sculpt look goofy. Whereas these glasses, the way they hook around the back of the ears and sit on the head sculpt perfectly, and because they're so thin, they just make it, like I said, look even better. So if you did want to display him wearing these, I wouldn't blame you at all. Just to put in perspective, I've taken the glasses off. Compared to the Hot Toys head sculpt, it's a night and day difference. The skin tone, the likeness, the expression. I give it all to Mars Toys. Hot Toys was just never quite right, was it? I mean, even the neck is significantly chonkier with Hot Toys. This is like Giga Chad Bruce Wayne. And then we get to the outfit. This, I think, is some of the finest mass-produced tailoring I've ever seen. The padding for the shoulders giving him that very 80s look, how the shirt cuff pokes out around the bottom of the jacket sleeves, the faux buttons, the shininess of the lapels, the texture on the shirt for this front piece, and then of course the bow tie and the cummerbund. You can mess around with it if you do want to pull the collar down a touch. I like the way it sits, and just look how thin that collar is. It is razor sharp, which means that it just has the fabric looking like it's genuine 1/6 scale fabric. Sometimes stuff can be too thick, like the Hot Toys collar, and then it doesn't look quite right. All of these buttons, being nice shiny gold, does pop against the white for the shirt. Now don't forget he does have a swap out cummerbund and bow tie. So now we've gone from the straight black cummerbund and bow tie, it's this slightly shiny satin material and it closes with velcro around the back underneath his suit jacket, to the grey crisscross line versions. This is my personal preference. It adds a little bit more visual interest, and it breaks up the black for the rest of the outfit. Not to mention, I think it's more accurate to Batman 1989, the Wayne Manor scene where he meets Vicky Vale, as compared to the black ones where they're more accurate to the gala scene from Batman Returns. Now you do have some belt loops underneath the cummerbund, but no belt, which I think is the right call because if there was a belt, this would look very bulky. That's not to say though that you can't just remove this and put a belt there if you so choose. You have some real working pockets so you can have his hands in them, and then some creases all the way down the front of his pants. The pants themselves also break at the correct height above his shoes. There's some black socks underneath the pant legs, and then the shoes themselves have a ton of detail on the surface. There's texture, there's some wrinkling and buckling, some bar laces sculpted in, and of course, even some tread on the underside. So if you're wondering, can you fit the Mars Toys Bruce Wayne head sculpt on the Hot Toys Batman Returns suited body with the broken cowl? You absolutely can, and now I think I need to pick up a second one because this looks absolutely incredible. This head sculpt almost looks like it was designed to go on this body. Yeah, I would have no problem whatsoever displaying my Batman Returns figure like this in the collection. For a quick side-by-side comparison, on the left, Mars Toys Bruce Wayne, and on the right, the competition. The Hot Toys version that came in the 2-pack with Batman from the Batman Returns line. I still like the Hot Toys one. He is nowhere near as good as the Mars Toys release, which just goes to show how far third-party companies have come. The proportions are better with Mars Toys, the tailoring is way sharper, you get better accessories, and the head sculpt is a massive upgrade. I reckon the head sculpt alone is worth the price of admission here. Next up, the Hot Toys DX version of Joker, also from Batman 1989. These two don't make a ton of sense to pair up alongside one another because they never actually interacted, with Joker looking like this and Bruce Wayne looking like this. The Let's Get Nuts scene, they were both wearing completely different outfits. But if you want to throw that all out the window and just display them together anyway, yeah, this does look pretty good. Talk about a perfect pairing. This is the original, I guess we can call him 1.0 1989 Batman now, because there is a new one coming. He's a hair shorter than Mars Toys Bruce Wayne, and that is because of his hair. If you think about it, when you wear a cowl, your hair gets pushed down, and Michael Keaton in Batman 1989 did have this very curly, bushy hairstyle. So Bruce Wayne being a little bit taller, I'm fine with that. But then for some reason it flips right back round. With the Batman Returns figure, he is taller than the Mars Toys Bruce Wayne, and I know that will make some people happy because they want the Batman in the full suit to be the taller of the two. He's also wearing a custom Jackson Ju cape, if anyone was wondering. Going over articulation, starting off with his head sculpt. It's on a fixed neck with a ball joint down the bottom. Looking forward to there, looking up to there, swivel, and pivot side to side. His arms will go up to there, going forward and back on soft ratchets. Butterfly joint at the shoulder that hinges up and down. Swivel at the bicep, double bend at the elbow going past 90, and then for the wrist peg, it's a hinge and swivel. His torso will crunch forward to there, going back to there, swivel and pivot side to side. His legs will go forward to there, going out to there, swivel at the upper thigh. Double bend at the knee on very clicky ratchets going to there, and then a double ball peg for the ankles. Good for forward and back, swivel, as well as heaps of ankle tilt. Wrapping up on Mars Toys Mr. W, aka Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne from Batman 1989, or kinda sorta Batman Returns, if you want to pop him in that display. This figure is so freaking good. I was worried that it wasn't going to be because a tuxedo can be really tricky to recreate in 1/6 scale. The prototype looked glorious. This final product, I'd almost say looks better than the prototype. The head sculpt alone is an improvement. The skin texture, the detail, the likeness to Michael Keaton, it's all there. And it's compatible with the Batman Returns figure from Hot Toys. You can pop it on the suit if you want to. That means you would have to pick up a second Bruce Wayne, which I am now tempted to do. Thank you, Mars Toys. I'm going way further down the rabbit hole than I ever thought I was going to. So at the end of this, while this is a bare bones release without a ton of accessories, you get the switch out bow tie and cummerbund, the champagne flute, and that image of Michael Keaton, which right now seems weird. I'm hoping they continue the idea with their future releases and then it'll start to make sense. If you have a 1989 display with those little placards next to your figures, and you have multiple of them, not just one, it's going to paint a completely different picture rather than how it's going to look now with just the singular one in there. If you have the Hot Toys Bruce Wayne and you're considering maybe sort of thinking about upgrading, do it. You're going to be happy with this figure. I'm pretty fussy when it comes to 1989 Batman, and this figure has just blown me away. I'm lost for words, we may as well just end the video here. Now, I got mine as a review sample from Mars Toys, organised by 1/6 Kit. I have popped the link to Kit's site in the description below for your reference purposes only. As always, all opinions have been 100% my own. I have not been asked to only say good things. It just so happens that they knocked it out of the park with this figure. If you are heading down to the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe will catch you in the next video.